Welcome back to the shop. I'm Jason, and today we're working on Project Quicksilver. Not because we want to, but because John noticed something when he thought he had a flat tire.
So basically what happened, I had been hanging out with friends one night and we were parked in a dirt parking lot. I had left, I was driving home, and I noticed a really weird tick, 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 tick sound. It almost sounded like a flat tire going doom, doom. I guess it wasn't a tick sound, but with the rotation of one of the tires, I could hear doom, doom of hitting the asphalt. So I stopped at 7-Eleven, got out of the car, started doing this. I had the car in neutral, I roll it forward, I checked all the tires, and then when I got to this one, I was like, with my flashlight, that looks a little goopy. Okay, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and Jason over here was at a work party, so I could call him.
Jason, Dad, we know that though.
Anyway, so I called him, there was screaming in the background, he couldn't hear me. I was like, I stopped to check something on my tire, but one of my shocks is blown. He was like, okay, what do you want me to do? I was like, I don't know, I'm just telling you because I'm gonna forget. Okay, what do you want me to do? I'm just gonna drive home. And then, now here we are.
There's actually nothing I can do on the phone with a blown shock.
I knew that there was nothing we could do, and it's fine to drive home. Who knows how long I've been driving. With the amount of goop in there, it's probably been like that for a bit and I didn't notice.
So here's where we are. The shocks on this car were replaced prior to us purchasing it, or prior to John purchasing it this last year. What you should do in this case is replace both shocks in a pair so that they have a matched set. What he's gonna do is what he can afford. He's gonna replace the one blown shock here today, and we're gonna use the same one that's in there. It's the Bilstein B4 OEM equivalent. So that's what he has here. Where did we order this from?
Turner, because Rock Auto no longer ships to the beautiful state of Arizona. So we couldn't get the cheap parts, so we had to go with the other cheap parts. So yeah, my bank account now says negative $13 and we're gonna be happy about it.
BMW life, right?
Yeah, right? And that's about how it goes. Ugh.
With the wheel off, we noticed that this rotor wouldn't really spin. So I opened up the caliper and now it spins again, which tells me that the caliper is not releasing quite right. So while we're here, we're gonna take the caliper off and take the bracket off. We'll lube everything up nice and tidy before going back together. This will also give us room to pull it off to the side for when we pull this bracket here and try to get everything loosened up. So John will get going on that now. Got Judah over here on E90 online, checking our torque specs and getting everything all lined up. Man, that thing, that's our problem right there. That does not want to move. Damn it, at all.
I thought I was.
You know what? I wonder if the shock oil or something is what's leaking on it.
That would make sense.
Jeez.
Well, I was over here like, wow, I can't get this out. And you offered to try, and that's why.
It's really hard for me to not jump in here and actually do the tooling, but this is John's car and he wants to do some of the work himself.
One day when I'm out on my own, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. So.
This is true. So now we need to see if the knuckle will drop down at all or if there's so much tension on the control arms that it won't move. We also may have to spread the knuckle open in the back. So you can try with a rubber mallet.
Where should I hit? Like right there?
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to get your purse so you can swing it? I mean,
you sound like the guy who bought the truck from.
I think we might want to spread the back a little.
Yeah, let me get the special
That's
tool
not coming out.
All right, we're going for the old school manual method with one of these spreader bolt tools. We'll see if this will work. So go ahead and put it right in the middle.
Right.
There. Okay, take the socket or the ratchet off.
Yeah. Oh, no, my thing magneted to it.
Uh-oh.
All right, this is a 13. We're gonna take these two off that we can reach with the ratchet. And then...
break them free, buddy.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were gonna hit that. Loosen it, can I just?
Yep, so down below, our lower control arm, we'll loosen the rear bolt here.
Wait. Okay.
It's not loose.
I know.
You have to go with a little bit of arm.
I'm thinking of,
Just go.
because if this was a clock, yeah. I'm not smart.
You're a mechanic, right? Us mechanics don't know much. You want me to try?
No, I'm thinking, because if this is a clock, this...
Jackson, I tried.
No, this... Stop, let me...
You want to make a short about this?
Let me... No, look. Stop. If this is a clock, right? And if it's turning this way, that's counterclockwise.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah, we go counterclockwise to loosen.
Unless it's righty tighty, lefty loosey.
This... Oh, this one is.
Is it?
It kind of looks like it. It kind of looks like the threads fray out. That was...
Could it just be that you have a short wrench?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, why would they do that? They're Germans. They're sensible people.
There you go, little brother to the rescue.
Don't put that on YouTube.
Oh, there it goes.
Well, there it was.
There was one.
That's
and
loose.
it just started coming right down.
All right.
Snapple dapple.
Well, let's see.
It's close. It's close.
No, that might be all the way. I don't know.
Go ahead and let's loosen the tension strut as well.
Yeah.
Just make sure you hold it because it's not light.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Ah! Well, there's that too.
Oh, that's why.
That's how a ratchet works.
No, I meant like that. That's why you did that.
So on the top here, there's a 19 millimeter nut, and then you have a counter hold with this Allen. Yes, I know, you could just hit it with an impact gun and it would come apart. I'm gonna use my purse and I'll hold it right here. And I'll do it without damaging the shaft to show you how it's done. This is how you should do it. Now, obviously this shock is already cooked, so it doesn't matter. But going together, we need to make sure to do it this way because when you try to impact it, if the lock nut catches and it just spins the hell out of the shaft, you can burn up your seal as you're installing it.
Which means you need to get a new one really fast.
Yeah, we did not get that spring quite far enough. Do you see it pushing?
Yeah, you want me to wrenchy more?
I have the wrench in my hand.
I was gonna say, you have the wrenchy. Okay.
It wasn't quite far enough.
No, I knew it was coming.
Well, I did not think you were gonna go all the way. Okay, well, it's off.
All right.
Let's get the new one in. I'm actually gonna wash my hand. I don't want to get the new one gunky before it has to.
All right.
That's right.
Crap, that is scary. It's good. It's good. It's good.
If this lets go, it will make a hell of a noise.
Mother, I love you.
We're recording for a reason.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
Oh crap, bro.
Do we got anything?
I need a socket. Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die.
Seriously.
All right, it's held.
Are we sure?
I don't know.
If it comes out now, it's gonna stay attached
Hopefully.
to here.
What if it just broke the threads?
It's not. Just stop talking. We're not speaking this into existence.
Yeah, if it just broke the threads, we'd have a whole new problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need another
You need
shot.
a new shock. But you.
See how it's just turning the bottom?
Yeah.
Judah, come over here to this side. You can see the
You can feel it crunchy in there.
see the shaft.
Ooh, no. I don't like that feeling.
That's what we don't want.
Yeah.
Now there's no more shaft.
Why is this more sketchy?
It's not.
I know.
This is way safer now.
You can't go that far because it's expanding onto there.
Yeah, we just have to roll it out and torque it.
Oh, that's scary.
Good.
It didn't do any damage up here either. No. This is nice and flat still. Oh, that's not where it was.
It was right here.
It was right here.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. All right.
Yeah.
Yay, Vivor.
Yeah.
Our center bolt, we torqued to 64 Newton meters. Put our cap back in. Now we can go back to the car.
So I had mentioned these two little things earlier when we were talking about like lining it up over there. This little like
These are the
dots.
alignment pins?
Alignment pins, yeah. Of course they're called that. Anyways, those, what we were spreading earlier, these guys are just gonna stick right in there, if I can stick it in there.
Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle down.
Just wiggle, no mallet.
No, it doesn't need to pull. He's trying to get the shock all the way in first.
You're just gonna keep weeble wobbling until
it
that
bottoms out,
hits.
yep.
No. This is why we put tape on the fender, by the way.
Yep. And then don't forget your strut top here.
I think I just tapped that. This kind of looks like a wheel spacer.
Yep, that's all the way down.
And then
Now, when you go back in the car,
has to be directional because
it's directional because of this pin here. This is the adjustment pin that you have to knock out in order to adjust camber. So that adjustment pin has to go in the same spot up top that it came out before, right here.
So if that's not there, we would know that somebody has adjusted camber on this car before.
Correct.
Interesting.
And you can see they are slotted ever so slightly, so there is a front camber adjustment on here, factory. There you go.
Oh, that was surprisingly easy. So right now we got a jack under there and we're just lifting it.
Oh yeah, there it comes.
There we go, right there.
Keep going.
All right, go up.
And then you'll see the alignment pin
Yep.
line up. Don't forget to tighten these to Ugga Dugga +1.
That started to go, so now it's time for the torque wrench.
81 Newton meters. In order to tighten our lower control arms, we want to get the hub assembly up at ride height. So we're using this little adapter that I made to mount our pull jack to the hub. Then we'll jack it up and we'll torque each of the arms to spec at ride height so that the bushings aren't over flexed in there. 68 Newton meters and then 90 degrees on the control arm.
All right, we're going to put the braques back on. It's very important that you do this because stopping is normally fun.
And you're gonna want the other half of your pads.
Yeah, so that goes right there. And then we got our little goopy doopy right here.
We lubed up the slide pins with a little bit of silicone lubricating compound or Worth Glide. Now they'll actually move. And Judah, you said they're 30 Newton meters?
Yep.
All right. All right, John is currently battling the idea of while it's in the air, should we just cut the muffler off? So he's gonna show me a video of a muffler delete and we'll see what it sounds like. But if you wanna hear what that muffler delete sounds like, you're gonna have to take a look at the short up here, and I think you're gonna be really impressed. In fact, I like it so much, I'm considering pulling the muffler off of Pearl here. Now that she's got long tube headers, that Dynan muffler, I don't know, is just not cutting it. So that could be in a future episode. For now, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much for watching. I got the tool links down below if you want to get that spring compressor or the shock tools or anything like that. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. We're trying to get to 15,000 this year. We're so close, but we only have a few weeks left. Share this video with anybody that you think it might help. E90 content, E39 content, truck content, Tesla content. We have all sorts of stuff here on the channel. We really appreciate you watching, joining, and doing all those things. We'll see you in the next one.